Everybody has a story to tell. In fact, I would argue hundreds and thousands of stories stream through our consciousness every year. But while we may all have stories to tell, there is a distinction between telling a story and storytelling. I'm Megan Stafford, and today on The Essential, we'll be looking at the 2013 blockbuster Saving Mr. Banks and the key elements of good storytelling. So who is Mr. Banks? That's right, Mr. Banks is not just a character in the 1964 film Mary Poppins, although Saving Mr. Banks does follow the adaptation and production of P.L. Travis's book into the renowned film. Who Mr. Banks really is a mystery the audience gets to solve along with the movie's characters. The script is split into the past and present day life of P.L. Travers, who, unbeknownst to everyone else, based the characters of Mary Poppins on real figures from her own life. Scenes taken from Mrs. Travis's past are seamless poetic pieces handpicked to add to the present-day storyline and explain Mrs. Travis's adverse reactions to the production team's suggestions. These glimpses into Travis's childhood are the very essence of the film's theme, letting go of the past. And although Mary Poppins is an immensely popular film, Saving Mr. Banks would still be just as effective even if you had never seen the original movie. Why? Because we, the audience, are invested in the characters, particularly Mrs. Travers. When we first meet her, she is uptight and the very definition of stubbornness. Yet because we keep going into her past, we understand that there is a reason for Mrs. Travis's behaviour and want to find out what that is. The first transition from past to present occurs in the opening minute of the movie. So already the audience thinks something is at stake here, Mrs. Travers, and the curious creatures we are, we get drawn in. While we perhaps wouldn't like Mrs. Travis's in reality, the scriptwriters make sure we do through not only her dialogue, which is humour tinged in the ironical, but also through what she does. The scriptwriters ensure there are plenty of instances where what she says or does doesn't match the rational character everyone supposes Mrs. Travers is. These are instances where we see the real Mrs. Travers and the possibility of change rises. Yet the scriptwriters never diverge too far from her character because believability is a huge part of storytelling. Why would you invest in something you don't believe in? Patsy Rodenberg, in a TED Talk, Why I Do Theatre, said a successful play or film emulates the truth and has characters that are present. That is particularly evident in the following poignant scene where Walt discovers the true meaning of Mary Poppins. How powerful is that? Powerful enough to end what was a 20-year conflict between Walt Disney and Mrs. Travers. In this scene, we finally get to see the emotional and physical release and relief attached to letting go. The moment we have been anticipating thanks to the scriptwriters, allowing hints at change and the real Mrs. Travers to surface throughout the movie. That's what successful scriptwriters do. They give us hope and invite us to keep watching. So what can we learn from Saving Mr. Banks? I would say the following: comedic and or believable dialogue, audience investment in the characters and story, action and conflict, and probably most importantly, a change in the character's mindset. These are the key elements of good storytelling. But of course, Walt Disney says it better, so I will leave you with this final clip. Thank you.